But one thing, because this is a work I'm being given from a managerial point of view, a policy making and implementing them. I'm looking forward to working with the people at the departments. I will take time, honorable members, to learn about the departments. I will take time to look at the leadership of the departments and bring them together. A minister must be a team player. I believe I'm one. It's a high time. Mr. Ken, I bring it to you. Deputy Speaker, sorry. I bring it to you that I am ready to work with everyone, including this house, to make sure it works. I have a question from also, I think, Honorable Mwenda, Mwenda again. No, that was Motea, sorry. I answered that. The expectation, I think it was from Honorable Mwenda, yeah?
The Deputy Speaker, the leader minority.
Sorry, Mwenda. Sorry for that mistake. Honorable Mwenda, you asked me just in case I am put in place, all the honorable members considered me for this position. The Lord, and you asked me the menace of unemployment and how we would solve. Really, I believe we would solve this together. And this is the how. I just give my idea. I was thinking of the so many young people in Meru County who are so learned with university degrees. So many of them with masters. But then we also have so many vocational training centers that are really not very equipped. But then we have the white collar jobs that are not enough in this country. But then we have an opportunity as a devolved government to impact on the vocational training institutes, the TVETs. That will be in conjunction with another ministry, either of the education. You know, it's also a wake-up call to me as Casty, who will probably be the minister for the youth, to work together with other ministers. And then we bring in the idea of the young people in Meru County to have the skill-based desire. Because if we look at the Kenya we have today, the skills that young people get really are more paying and are faster paying than waiting to go through a process. I'm not disregarding the education, really no, but we are talking about the skills. So I would suggest that I would partner with other ministries to make sure we invest in these TVETs, and we make sure even the TVETs that are down in our machinanis, that we bring them to a point where they can serve the purpose of instilling skills. I think I've captured all, but I just want to just answer kidogo Honorable Member Ken. Honorable Chair, he asked on me pronouncing myself as a waziri. I just interject that. I'll just say to this house, I have not really declared myself, either in other quarters maybe, where maybe other young people, because there is a lot of excitement out here, if they have called me waziri, I don't remember pronouncing myself a waziri.
Thank you. Then we will take only 3 questions, and then we give her time to respond. Honorable Frida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Frida Naito. My question goes to nominee Casty Micheni. Casty, I've seen your KCSE certificate and you did very well and scored a B minus. But later when you went to do a Bachelor of Business Management banking option in Mount Kenya University, you were one and a pass. What happened about the same? And then since you have indicated that you have never worked in any public office, hence you don't have any experience. What do you know about the Ministry of Youth, Gender, Sports, and Social Development? And then another question is, what do you see yourself accomplish in the next 5 years if given this job you have been nominated to? The then question is, what is the biggest strength when it comes to you working with youths? Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Spora.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Casty, the nominee, I would want I'm just curious. In our society today, in Meru County and even outside, we are facing very serious challenges in terms of drug abuse, especially among the youths, where the hinge bracket where you belong. And also, we are also facing serious challenges in our societies or in our homes on gender-based violence. If this House approves your nomination, how are you going to handle this? Because actually, it is a big problem to our families today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. And lastly, we will take a question from the Leader of Majority, Evans Mawira.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Madam Casty, is it afternoon or evening? Good evening. First and foremost, I want to congratulate you for being nominated to be the CEC, Youth, Sports, Gender and Social Development. Honorable Chair, I got a few questions, but I'll just ask a few. And Madam Casty, relax and take your time. This is not grilling, but a vetting process. So I want to ask first off, what do you understand by the term social development? Because is it will be under your docket? Secondly, during the previous assembly, that was the second assembly, through an act of this assembly, we established a board called Meru Youth Service, which should fall, MYS, which should fall under your docket. So according to you, do you think it was a good idea? And if so, how do you intend to revitalize it so that it can be helpful to the youths of this county? Thirdly, I would want to hear your opinion about drug and substance abuse on the youths. Then I would also want to hear yourself your pronunciation about the relationship between yourself as a CEC now, in case you are approved by this assembly, since now you'll be in the executive arm of the government. So I would want to hear your pronunciation about how you maintain the relationship that you maintain between the executive or your department and this assembly. And especially I would also want to hear yourself pronounce your pronunciation on how you relate, especially with your member of county assembly, since you have indicated you are an aspirant and you are uncompeted. So I'd want to hear about that. Then last regime, that was during President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime, he introduced Kazi Mtaani, which was a program for the youth. I would want to hear if, because personally, I think it was a knee-jerk reaction to a bigger problem, which is joblessness. But do you think it was effective, according to you, or it was a short-term solution to a larger problem that is encompassing the youth. Then those are too many. Let me ask the last one. As a person, every person has their own character, and everybody has got their own strengths and weaknesses. So maybe we know your strengths. Could you kindly tell us what do you think are your weaknesses in this, as a person, I mean? And also, because I've gone through the list of nominees, you'll be the only youth who is nominated to that cabinet, the county executive committee member. Do you think your age will be an impediment to delivery as a CEC? Thank you.
Thank you, Leader of Majority Evans Mawira. I will now give the last chance to the Deputy Speaker, Mwenda, and then honour members, please, Grace and Karimi, you bear with me that also you have taken too long. I'll give Mwenda, then we'll give her time to respond to those questions raised, because already there are over 10 issues that have been raised. Honour Mwenda, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. I have two concerns, Madam Casty. Going back to the questionnaire, employment record, you said 2021 Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology, Innovation and Youth Affairs, appointee member of the Kenyan Media Policy Guideline. Then there's somewhere again, you said that you are facilitator, youth agenda, strategic initiatives at the office of the president. That is 2020, I guess. Then going somewhere again, you say you've never worked in any public office at that moment. Then the last one now, gender. You didn't say anything about gender. It is wise we talk about gender. Subgender entails so many things. In fact, there's a Department of Gender Affairs. Now there, you're dealing with issues of affirmative action, issues with gender violence, gender-based violence, and so many other things. So kindly try explain that.
Thank you, the Deputy Speaker, Honourable Mwenda. Please try to condense those answers in a maximum of 5 to 6 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I start with the question from the Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker has the issue of the public office. First of all, an appointment that was given was gazetted on notice number 10445, and this was not public office holding. It was just a task force that was supposed to establish a media policy guideline for the ministry. So that one was not a public office. Number two, we had the issue of the being a facilitator, youth agenda at the office of the president, strategic, and specifically the strategic initiatives unit, office of the president. This is a unit headed by Mukhtar Ogle. Being a facilitator really means being taken as or co-opted as a facilitator to facilitate some talks. For example, because we're transversing in different counties in Kenya, I would become the facilitator co-opted in the team to give talks, to just stand for the youth space in the same. So that was not a public holding. That is not public office. That I didn't work, really not working in a public office. Then the issue of gender. The issue of gender is a critical one, not only in Meru County, but even in other parts of this country. This one carries the PWD members, women groups, even the young boys and the young girls. And to me, if there is what we should really concentrate on, basing on how we live in our societies, is the people living with disability. I have worked with them before in my ward, and giving just a simple statistic of what is happening in our places. An example of Egoji West Ward, where I come from, we have 6 groups of people living with disability. Honorable Chair, I would interject that if there is a special unit that we should really take care of, and the statistics that we should take as a county are for these people. For me, I would suggest that if we could have a day of people probably living with disability in this county, we could show our world, we could show the world, and then we could have programs for them. For example, having partnerships with NGOs that can come together and facilitate with funds that can help these groups in startups, activities that that are economically based. And then we could help even those who live in the streets to just come out from there. In fact, being disabled is not inability. And as a minister, if God allows, then I would work closely even with this house, the house members of this house, to reach those people down there at Mashinani, and also concentrating on...
What do you mean God allows? I'm very sure in this case it's not about God, it's about the honor of members.
Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Here, Mr. Chair, Honorable Chair, if the honorable members will allow me,
yes,
work closely.
Oh, you're on point now.
Okay, thank you. I work closely with the members of this house to make sure we come up with activities, of course, that will help us, will help our people. And also, let me answer questions from Honorable Frida. Honorable Frida asked a critical question on my performance at the university. Honorable Chair, I'm a typical young lady in this country, and honestly speaking, I have gone through the processes of every child in this, the process of any child that any child has gone through in this county. I'm just an example of so many young people who probably didn't have high scores in their previous studies. And I'm an inspiration to them. They can still make it to this level. We are talented differently and in all levels. So as for me, I did my best. I involved myself in so many activities. And for sure, this is an inspiration to every child out there. It will work out. Even if you feel that that's not your path of talent, maybe it failed at some point, then even on the other side, it's gonna work. And then I think I have answered the issue of the gender. I've also, she has asked the issue of the 5 years, 5 years either plan, what I would love to achieve or what I will achieve in 5 years, what I think I may achieve in 5 years. 5 years term, Honorable Chair, if this house allows me to serve as a minister for youth affairs, gender, sports and social development in Meru County, I don't want to work from a vacuum. I would love to bring ideas of every young person in Meru County. We establish a plan that will take our Meru County forward.
Casty, I'll give you only 2 more minutes, please.
Sorry, Honorable Chair, because I'm a storyteller. I get to a question from the majority leader on the Meru Youth Service. That was a good idea, and still, Meru Youth Service is a good idea. I believe we can build on it moving forward. It's a question of how do we build it. With the help of this house and the help of the executive, I'm sure we're going to build on this one. The question of drug abuse. Madam Sipora, this is an issue that's affecting so many young people in Meru County. Honestly speaking, I will always base myself on not working from a vacuum. We have statistics of young people who are lost in drug abuse and substance abuse. It's my prayer that Honorable Chair, once the honorable members confirm me, that I will work closely with them to reach out, of course, and then also draw a plan on how we deal with the menace, and also working with the other ministries and the other departments. The Alcohol Regulation Board is still there. We bring every party, every stakeholder on board. And finally, maybe because of time, I was an aspirant. And being an aspirant at Egoji West Ward, Honorable Chair, I came second in the contest. I was competing. Honorable Chair, allow me to mention that my competitor is in the room, who was my competitor, but now Hamweshimiwa. I really respect Mr. Mbeu Mbithi. He is a man of honor. Honorable Mbeu Mbithi. He is a honorable man, a great man. I even called and told him, Siasa is done. We have bigger calling. Casty has a calling now at the ministry, and you have now a calling at the ward level. In this space, let's work together and work for the Meru people. And this will happen because I know we have never had problems before, and even this time we don't are gonna have. So we're gonna treat each other. We are going to treat each other as colleagues here at the county level, because I believe in cohesion and working together and teamwork. I think finally on the question of weaknesses, Honorable Chair, I don't know, he said maybe they know my strengths. About the weakness, maybe it's just forgetting to pray, because I had made it a routine to pray 3 times a day. Maybe I think that is my weakness. I've not been able to put it to follow that, but I am trying. I think that's my weakness.
Thank you, Casty. Now, I'll give you just 1 minute, because you have really told us stories, and you said that you are a very good storyteller. That what you really wish to tell these honorable members that now that you are here, they have listened to you. What do you have anything to tell them, or you have told them everything?
Honorable Chair and honorable members, I wish to pass my regards to all of you, and thanking God for this far. At this point, I pray that if the honorable members consider me today, I would work closely with them. And as I started saying, Honorable Chair, that this house is made up of 60% of the young people. This is a good combination of the efforts. Being a minister and the youngest minister would make the young people of this Meru County feel represented in matters devolution. And as I finish, I pray that the the issues that the young people have will be solved by a young person because they are in it. Being a young person is an experience by itself. It is my prayer that every young person, because so many of them are watching and seeing this, it's my prayer that they see this as an inspiration, having the youngest minister in this county. God bless you. God bless the house. Asante
Welcome,
sana.
thank you. Karundu, ensure that Casting gets back original documents, and also Casting, please check if all the documents are there before you leave. Please confirm if all the documents are there. Karundu, please, Mwenda, please escort Casty. And then Karundu, please, in 10 seconds, let's have the next nominee. 10 seconds. Benson. Honorable members, I suggest that we take the shortest time so that by 7 we're done. So please, let's hand over the scoring sheet. And I suggest that we take the shortest time period with the remaining two. Welcome, Duranira. Please show him why you can give them back, Karundu. I want him to be very comfortable. Welcome, Duranira. You are artist now. Welcome. At this juncture, you are on committee on appointment, Meru County Assembly, and I believe you are aware that you are here for the vetting on Department on Education, Science, Culture, and ICT and Arts. Are you aware of that? Thank you. Just refer to all these honorable members. Kenya will proceed to give you the oath, and what the oath is for is to ensure that what you give or whatever information that's in the clear in this house can be used as an evidence, either in court. So please, after you have taken the oath, ensure that the information that you give is very accurate information. Is it okay with that? Thank you. Then can you please proceed and give him the oath?
a witness or any person. Oh, sorry. I, Joseph Durandera Idana, do solemnly swear that the information I shall give before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Please proceed and sign. Thank you, Benson. Durandera, I want you to relax, feel at home. Now I'll give you 2 minutes to tell us where you are born, where you went to school, what you have been doing with yourself for the last years that God has given you. Just condense it in 2 minutes. I know you're a teacher, and when you say condense, you know what I mean by that. Welcome. Please use the microphone.
Okay. I'm with Durandera and Joseph, as I once said. I am born from a place in Mwadhi Ward called Kambo. And I schooled in the same village in a school called Kambo Primary School. That is in Mwadhi Ward, Igembe North, Sub-County, Meru County. I went to from nursery school, that is the 1989.
Durandera, are you reading?
No.
Thank you. Please continue.
Okay. I enjoyed nursery school in 1989 in the same school, that is Kambo Primary. Then in 1990, I enrolled in Standard 1, and then I never repeated classes, but as I continued, there were some hardships. I dropped for 2 years while in Standard 6. Then I came back again after some years, 2 years. Then I completed my class 8 in, that is, I did my KCP in 1999, and I was the head boy from Standard 6 in 1997 up to Standard 8. Then after that, after the KCP, I proceeded to Igembe Boys, that is in Igembe South, and then that is in the year 2000, and then I completed the same school in the year 2003 with a certificate in KCSE. Before I continue, I am a 7th born from a polygamous family of around 13 siblings, and I am the 7th born. That is how it went. Then I happened to lose my father or dad in the year 2003. That is when I was sitting my KCSE. But I have, up to now, been educating my siblings. They are around 3 to 4 there. And that is where we are.
Durandera, they cannot be around 3 to 4. There must be either they are 3 or 4.
Sorry?
I'm saying they cannot be 3 or 4.
Okay.
It is either 3 or 4. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Then continue.
I'm sorry, Honorable Chair. I also, that they are 3, and then I'm Mangandian to a learner who is hearing impaired in GR Special. That is she's in grade 3, and I have another one that is not orphan. Then I have another one who is living with my mom. She is in grade 7. That is what I've been doing.
How many are they now?
They are 2.
They are 2. Thank you.
Now, thank you, Your Honor. That is, I was to talk about the completion of Form 4, that is 2023. Then in 2024, I proceeded to a Gold Teachers Training College, where I graduated in the year 2006 with a P1 certificate in primary education. Then I went back in 2007 in the same primary school where I went for basic education, that is primary, and I did voluntary work, that is was getting around 3,500 shillings. That was the salary, and sometimes it's good luck. I stayed there for quite some time. Then there was some handshipes. They were not able to get anything to support me. Then I had to retreat for a year. Then I proceeded to do something else in life. Then in the year 2010, I joined again as a voluntary teacher, Mutuate Primary School. I taught for 5 months. Then in the same year, that is 2010.
How much were they paying you at Mutuate?
They were paying me 5,000.
Thank you. Please continue.
Yeah, that is in the year 2010. Then the government came with a plan, which was referred to as Economic Stimulus Package, that is ESP. And then I was employed as an intern in the same school. I was absorbed there, and then I was getting 10,000. And by then I was married to one Jane Kadure Mboronga, whom we have been married for the last 15 years. That is since we got married in the year 2008, and our first-born daughter was born in the year 2007. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So after that, I proceeded and enjoyed.
Thank you, Duranira. It's good to know that you're a married man and a homekeeper.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you.
Then, after I joined the Teachers Service Commission, then I enrolled for a diploma in Kenya Institute of Special Education. That is the year 2010, December, and I completed it in the year 2013, while in the same primary school, that is Mutuate Primary. Then I stayed there for those years. Then in 2014, I transferred to Nkamadi Special School, where I have been up to date. I've been teaching those learners with the special needs, that is the mentally challenged, and we have a multiple disabilities, the learners with multiple disabilities.
Thank you,
yeah.
You have a degree?
Yeah. In the year 2017, that is when I joined Mount Kenya University, Thika main campus. I did a degree in the same faculty, that is education, bachelor in education, special needs education, primary option, and now I have enrolled for a master's degree in the same university. Thank you.
Thank you, Duranira, for that lengthy introduction of yourself. And now, Duranira, I would suggest that you have a writing material and a pen, so that I'll allow 3 to 4 members to pose questions to you. And when they do that, please note the name of the honorable member and then the question, so that when you're answering a question from an honorable member, then you are able to refer to him or her, so that he or she can ascertain if the answer given is there. So, honorable members, Duranira, please put the mic off when you are not using it. Duranira, that mic. When you will not be using it, you put it off so that the other honorable member can be able to communicate. So, and just I want us to limit our questions, our honorable members, and any member who wishes to pose a question to Mr. Duranira. Yes, Honorable Rusi Jason Mukaria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wanted to ask the candidate.
She is Honorable Rusemokaria.
My name is Honorable Lucy Mokaria. Sorry about that, Mr. Speaker. Wanted to ask whether you have held any managerial position in your career, because you have not indicated that you have done any of them. And then you have not filled the form from EACC. You've not put any primary school that you went to, secondary school. You're saying you did not go, you didn't do A level, you only did a degree. So you have not indicated in the EACC form whether you have attained any level of education except a degree. Then I was wondering whether this form is really genuine.
Ben Benson, please get a copy of the EACC form that is submitted and give to him, so that when answering that question probably, then Honorable Semokaria can be able to interrogate Turanera more. Yes, any other member? Honorable Spora.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I would want to pose my question to Mr. Ivana Thuranira Joseph. And my questions are, being my area of interest, that is the Department of Education, I would want to ask to inform Mr. Ivana that the county, yes, Honorable Sipora, and I say, being my area of interest, I would want to bring to your attention that the county Department of Education has mandate over the pre-primary, that is the ECD, and the vocational training centers. In the last 5 years, we have had serious shortages in our ECD centers in terms of staffing, because the county government has not been able to recruit ECD teachers. And at the same time, the county government of Meru may not even be in a position to recruit even in the coming 2 or 3 years because of the wage bill. If this committee approves your nomination as the CEC for education, what do you think are the measures that you can take in order to ensure that the learning institutions, that is our ECD centers, run smoothly, even without any regular recruitment within the county government workforce? 2, I also want to bring attention to Mr. Idana on the issue of culture, which is also a directorate in the department. I would also want to note that we have under challenge in the last 5 years also. Culture, the Directorate of Culture is a service directorate where the community is really involved in promotion of culture, and also preserving the cultural heritage of the Meru people. What are the steps that you are going to take to ensure that the Meru community is actively involved in the preservation and promotion of the cultural heritage of the Meru people, bearing in mind our cultural diversity, especially from our 3 Meru sub-tribes, that is the Tiganias, the Igembes, and the Imentis, who have different cultural practices. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Ospora. Honorable Josephat Muna.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Nicholas Kenywa Mona Josephat, representing the people of Nyakist. Nicholas Kenywa Mona. Okay, first let me say that I like your progression, having started with a P1 and now you're a degree holder. That one shows a lot of determination. Thank you for that. Then about culture, since if you're lucky to get approval from this house, culture will be in your docket. We are living at a time where we have a lot of cultural erosion in Meru, where we can see women groups singing Kikuyu songs, even in churches. We have little children who cannot pronounce their Kimeru names. And we know culture is an income earner. So as a minister, if you are lucky to get approval from this house, what are your plans about culture that is greatly eroded by modernism and influence from other communities in Kenya? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Josephat Muna. Honorable Leader Majority, Evans Mawira.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. First, Mr. Idana, how are you? I like your genuineness and how lively you are. So, congratulations. I want to just ask a few questions. One, you have been a teacher at, you said Nkamadhi Special School. Does it have a ECD classroom? And with a teacher paid by the county government? It's okay. So, one challenge that I found with these ECD teachers employed by the county government is how they are remunerated. Sorry? Evans Mawira Karia. Evans, just not Honorable Evans. Yeah, I'm saying...
please, Turanira, put off the mic.
One challenge I find is how these teachers are remunerated. If you can agree with me, with the current economy, the cost of living, being paid 15,000 is too little for a teacher. How do you intend to address that challenge? And taking into consideration the wage bill that the county government has. Also, I would want to hear your opinion on introducing a feeding program for ECD learners. Then we also know most schools have challenges with classrooms, ECD classrooms. I don't know how you intend to address that challenge, or if, in case you are approved by this house. Then, Mr. Idana, right now you are a civil servant employed by the TSC, is it? If you take up this job, it means you will resign as a teacher. And then, you know, being a CEC, you are being appointed by a power which you don't have a control over. You don't have any control over the appointing authority. So your appointment can either be revoked by the same appointing authority, or you can even get impeached by this house, which is provided for under the law. So are you willing to take up to take this risk of being a CEC member, and then maybe risk after 1 or 2 years, you risk being getting unemployed again? And finally, I think last weekend, I happened to attend the Raka Cultural Festival, which showcased all their cultural activities, their traditional food, their music, everything that is because they are trying to maintain their culture. Once you are, in case you are approved as the CEC member, because culture will be under your docket, will it be possible to hold one cultural event for the Merians? I mean, for the Meru community now, not the although even the Dharakas are Meru, but now for our for this county, either maybe Imentis, the Tikanias, and the Igembes. Thank you, and all the best, Mr. Ivana.
Thank you, Leader Majority Evans Mawira. Honorable Mwenda, the Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Chair. Mine will be brief. Bwana Idhana. I'm Ali Mwenda. Ali Mwenda is my name. This side, Ali Mwenda. Honorable Ali Mwenda. That is my name.
Honorable Mwenda. Honorable Mwenda. Turandera, is everything okay?
And glance at the
Give
honorable
some water,
member
open
asking
for
the
him.
question.
Open for him the water. He can have a sip. And please, Honorable Mwenda, let's allow Duranda to answer the questions that he has. Then we can take another round of questions. And Mwenda, you are very genuine, and I like that.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Then continue, Mwenda.
Okay. Honorable Chair, I thank you because of the compliment. Actually, I forgot to tell you that I'm the chairman of Men Fellowship in the church where I attend. Yeah, so, and having that such a post, I am obligated to observe the same. Thank you. I will try and respond to the question, Honorable Chair, from Honorable Lucy Mukaria, sorry. She asked me whether I had a managerial post. This, I will say yes, but it was not confirmed. Although, after I studied and moved from job grade G to job group J and then K in the Teacher Service Commission structure, if you happen to join grade K, you automatically become an administrator. And then in the same school, I was the person in the lowest grade, that is job group K. And whoever was in the job group, well, those who are a bit older than me because I was the youngest there, they are all senior teachers, so we were appointed, but I continued acting in the same capacity, although I was not given a official office where I could administer from. Then, that is by the virtue of that.
Being job group, when did they not give you an office?
Okay, it took some time.
Did the then teacher give any reason for not giving you an office, and of course your responsibilities in the school? Okay,
you are Honorable Chair. It ceased being, the promotion ceased being done at the county level, or the ND teacher, or sub-county level, and they went up to Nairobi. Then that is where approvals are done since 2017, Honorable Chair. Yeah. So, I became a senior teacher, but I was not recognized through substantively. Then on the form, EACC form, when I went at the EACC, I came there twice. The first day, I came with a single form. Then I was standing back. I didn't have the photocopies of certificates because I have never cleared any other time. Then that is how I ended up with 2 forms. And then when I came to the officer there at the Huduma Center, he retained 1 copy, and the other one I was given and forwarded to you. I can see it here. So that is how I came today without a form. Yeah, that is how I came. Then on the issue of the master's degree in MKU, I enrolled the moment after I had submitted the documents. That is when I enrolled there, when the documents were already with the county secretary. That is how it happened, Honorable Chair. That is the question from Honorable Lucy Mukaria. Then the question by Honorable Zipora, Mr. Honorable Chair, that is, she has the education as an area of interest. She requested me to tell how I would deal with ECD centers and TVETs. On this question, I have been there. I have been a teacher for ECD, for example, having been a teacher for foundation in the special school. That is, we don't follow the normal grading, whereby in a special school, for example, this one for the mentor, we have got ours is not age-based. You can find a learner who is older than me in the class where I teach, and then he or she may end up staying there up to the time I retire and I leave him or her there. So, on this, I have been assisting, for example, when the teacher attends the meetings, I would assist her because I taught a lower level to that of ECD learner. Now,
thank you, Duranera. Please, would you be able to condense your answers in very short form?
Yes.
You're a teacher, and when I say in short form, you know what I mean.
Yes, Your Honorable
True or
Chair.
false?
Yeah.
Also, myself, I was a teacher.
Hey.
Yes, I started teaching in 1995, and I left in 2006.
Yes, Honorable Chair, thank you. I will try to condense them. So, on the issue of these teachers and the TVETs, we shall try to get the budgetary allocation together with you, because the education has got very many stakeholders. I know you are going to help us when you are making these budgets. You will help us when we write our proposals. You will help us and get these monies to implement the same, that is increasing teachers and then opening more TVETs and reviving the ones that have collapsed. Then on the shortage of staffing, I know in the past 5 years, we have not had employment of these ECD teachers. There has been no employment at all. And I want to promise you that we shall be looking at this, Honorable Chair, the Honorable Zipora. We shall try and get the same funding together with you as you prepare these budgets. When you allocate us the money, we shall be trying to do this. Then on the same employment, I know we shall be replacing the teachers who leave the service, either through the following means like retirement or national attrition. Then the measures I want to take to ensure ECD runs smoothly without workforce, that is, we have addressed that one. Maybe you can have bigger classes whereby a teacher teaches more than 25 learners, which is the requirement of the ministry. I think we can have them congested in the same classes, a few of them as we await for the funding through the budgetary allocation, which I know, Honorable Chair, this House will help us to get the requisite allocation. Then on culture, you have from the same Honorable Member, Zipora, Honorable Chair, that this is now it shall involve the community. I know that we shall have there are other stakeholders, that is the parents, other community groups. For example, we had Mashujaa yesterday, and those people, they can be encouraged to do it more, and then we have the recordings of the same kept, and then we can have those CDs and the other media taken and stored, so that we can have our children watch them maybe at school for some time or even at home. We encourage even the parents who have got some means to buy the CDs, and then they can play them in their homes, so that these learners can grow within their culture, and then they embrace it. And then on the steps to take to preserve and promote the same, we have the 3 sub-tribes, that is Gembe, and that is where I come from. And then we have the Tigania sub-tribe and the Imenti. On this one, I think with the funding, the planning will be easier, Mr. Honorable Chair. The planning will be easier when we get the proper funding, and I know we shall do this. Our department is going to work hand in hand with you to ensure that you give us the requisite allocation, so that we continue and take the necessary steps. Then there's this other question from Honorable Nicholas Kinyua, Mr. Chair. He talked about cultural erosion, and this one means that you see our children when they want to sing, for example, drama, they go for other tribes instead of using ours, so that we promote our culture. On this one, we shall again try to encourage them, and then we can have the stories told in mother tongue, that is in our public primary schools, so that our learners grow with these cultural aspects. We can have them we can have them doing the same drama and all other things using our vernacular, because that is what has led some of the causes of cultural erosion. Then on promotion of, then you can have our youngsters who have got some talents. We can promote them when we get the requisite funding. We can promote them. I know a number of them who have tried to approach me for the same. They want to know where they can be assisted, and I promise that we are going to try and do this and promote these talents, and then we encourage them to have them in our vernaculars. Our vernacular, that is Kimeru, and using all our sub-tribes. Then there is Honorable Chair, there is a question from Honorable Evans. He talked of remuneration, and this is the only issue among the teaching fraternity, that is the teachers, indeed teachers in our county, and we are going to address this one, though it may not be possible this year because of the wage bill, as I have heard from an honorable member in this house. We shall try to address this one, and if probably we get the funding, because we shall present our budget for the department, and if we get these funds after doing census, and then trying to ascertain how these teachers are being remunerated with this economic and times, I promise to develop a scheme of service whereby these teachers can progress in let's say they are being paid 15,000, we can have it the way we have it in the Teachers Service Commission, whereby they give you some amount of money that is each end year.
I want to assist you there. There is a scheme of service that was provided for 16 months ago by the COG, that is the Council of Governors Secretariat, over the ECD teachers. So I believe if this honourable members considers you and approve, then your biggest job would be to ensure that it is implemented. Is that too big for you?
Honorable Chair, that is not too big for me. And I know when you give me this post, that is you appoint me, Honorable Chair and Honorable members, I know the first thing I'll do is to try and see, even if we talk of a lack of budgetary allocation, I shall try and do some benchmarking to see whether other counties which have implemented and how they are doing it. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Then we have got another question from Mr. Honorable Member, Mr. Evans.